If asked to name a family that truly captures the spirit of America, many might say the Obamas. However, there are things happening behind the scenes that most people do not see. When Barack Obama became president, the world watched every move he made. Attention also turned to his personal life. People admire the Obamas because of their close family bond. Michelle Obama has been a role model for many, sharing messages of hope, family, and unity. She has also contributed greatly to education, poverty awareness, and human rights. Their two daughters, Malia and Sasha, grew up in the spotlight. Recently, with both girls now grown, new truths about the family have come to light. One of Michelle's daughters revealed surprising details that no one expected. These revelations change how people see the Obamas, exposing parts of their family life rarely known publicly. So, what are these secrets? And how do they change our view of the family? That's what this video will explore. Before Barack Obama was president, he was a state senator in Chicago. That's where he and Michelle settled after they married on October 3rd, 1992. 6 years later, they welcomed their first child, Malia. She was born on July 4th, 1998. Barack often praises Malia, saying he's proud of her. She has a younger sister, Sasha, born on June 10th, 2001. In 2009, the family moved from Chicago to Washington, D.C., as Barack took on the role of president. The girls weren't happy about leaving their home. Moving away from friends and familiar places is tough, even for adults. But change is part of life. When Malia and Sasha arrived at the White House, they were just 10 and 8 years old. It took time for them to adjust. Barack served as president for 8 years, shaping the country during those years. During their time in the White House, Malia and Sasha attended Sidwell Friends School. In a 2011 interview, Michelle said both girls were doing well and living normal, healthy lives. Barack added that they are very close and that seeing them grow into young women makes him happy. Michelle also shared her thoughts on motherhood, explaining how her parenting style changed as her daughters grew. She went from being a mom and leader to acting as an advisor and supporter. Malia and Sasha have carved out their own paths in life, which makes Michelle very proud. It's fascinating how these girls have managed the spotlight, their activism, and even Secret Service agents following them, sometimes on dates. Let's look at what Malia and Sasha are doing now. Malia is the oldest child of Barack and Michelle Obama. She was born on July 4th, 1998, in Chicago. Barack and Michelle describe her as wise and thoughtful. When she was young, she enjoyed collecting keychains and taking drama classes. By first grade, she was setting her alarm and making her bed, which is rare for a child that age, especially from such a privileged family. Malia always had a sense of normalcy that was clear from early on. Barack shared a story from when she was 6. One day, she was walking by the lake with her dad and asked if they were rich. Barack said they were better off than most, but not truly rich. Malia replied that she liked living simply and didn't want to be rich. Barack was surprised by her answer, just like many people are now. As she grew older, Malia loved life, meeting people, and having conversations. Barack says she never gets bored, and that trait can take her far. You might wonder if the president's daughter has a normal life, like hanging out with friends or going to prom. She did. She went to prom as a sophomore in 2014. Barack jokingly says he can't reveal details about her date, but he was surprised to see her all dressed up in heels. After high school ended in 2016, Malia headed to Harvard. She took a gap year first. She finished her studies at Harvard in 2021. Their father says both girls wanted to start their own lives early and get out on their own. She took a break from her studies, and during her time at university, Malia got a taste for the TV industry. She had always been interested in this field. Her interest led her to intern with Lena Dunham on the show Girls, and later at the Weinstein Company. She then became a production assistant on the sci-fi series Extant. Recently, Malia worked as a writer for Amazon's show Swarm. Janine Nibers, the show's co-creator, highly values Malia's contributions. Malia's talents extend beyond writing. She has also tried her hand behind the camera. She wrote and directed a film called The Heart, which was shown at Sundance in 2024. A fun fact is that Malia used the name Malia Ann when writing and directing that movie. The film centers on a son dealing with grief who uncovers something shocking in her mother's will after her passing. Its goal is to show the real feelings people go through during times of loss. It covers loneliness, forgiveness, and regret, but also finds moments of lightness and relief amid sadness. Malia wanted the film to connect with viewers and remind them they are not alone. Michelle Obama openly expresses her love and pride for her daughters. While she speaks highly of them and says they are close, she keeps their privacy protected. Michelle has shared some stories about Malia and Sasha, but doesn't give away too much. She wants to keep their private lives out of the spotlight. Let's talk about Sasha Obama, the younger daughter of Barack and Michelle. She was born on June 10, 2001, in Chicago. As a kid, Sasha loved sports. She played basketball, did gymnastics, and tap dancing. She also spent time with her sister playing tennis and taking piano lessons. The girls grew up in a laid-back home. Their only rule was no whining or complaining. Michelle's mom, Maren Robinson, also lived with them. Maren says Sasha is more like Michelle. She describes Sasha as hard-working, determined, and strong-willed. Malia, on the other hand, is more like Michelle's brother Craig, who is quite mature for his age. Malia will do whatever it takes to keep the peace. She worries about Sasha and often speaks her mind. Her father shared that she isn't afraid to voice what she thinks. If Sasha has an opinion, she will tell you honestly, no matter who she's talking to. She speaks up for what's right and won't hide her feelings. What do you think about this trait? Let us know in the comments. The Obamas often praise their daughter's kindness and smarts, but Sasha is also known for her sense of humor. Barack says she's the family's comedian, full of energy. Sasha keeps the mood light with her jokes, and her dad isn't safe from teasing. The family loves to playfully make fun of him, and even Barack admits to being the target most of the time. If he mispronounces a singer's name, Sasha and her sister are ready to tease him. You might be surprised to learn that Sasha's close friend is Maisie Biden, President Joe Biden's granddaughter. As kids, they were best friends and played on a basketball team called the Vipers. Barack remembers both girls often talked about coaching their fourth-grade team. Sasha and Maisie attended Sidwell Friends School in Washington, D.C. After high school, Sasha enrolled at the University of Michigan in 2019. When the COVID-19 pandemic began, she took online classes from home, spending more time with her family. Barack says it was tough at first, but eventually felt like a blessing for him and Michelle. The family enjoyed their nights together, dinner, games, and movies. Now, both Sasha and Malia live in Los Angeles. They share a close bond and enjoy living together. A fun fact is that Barack and Michelle found out they would move out together during an interview with the girls in November 2022. Seeing their daughters live together made Michelle very happy. She said the apartment feels like home to them. They kept it simple and on a budget. Both girls even invited their parents over for pre-dinner drinks. Michelle joked that their cocktail skills still need work, especially with martinis. Sasha graduated from the University of Southern California in 2023. Do you know anything else about Sasha? Barack Obama faced a tough health crisis with his youngest daughter, Sasha. He handled many big challenges as president, but none prepared him for what happened to Sasha when she was just a baby. Now, Malia is 25 and Sasha is 22, and both are healthy. But when Sasha was only 3 months old, she was diagnosed with meningitis. This is a serious illness that causes inflammation around the brain and spinal cord and can be deadly. During his 2012 campaign, Barack broke down and cried while remembering what Sasha had gone through. That was the hardest moment of his life. Sasha was taken to the hospital and needed a spinal tap, also called a lumbar puncture. Obama praised the doctors for their work, but he was especially grateful to the nurses who cared for Sasha around the clock. Michelle also remembers that day vividly. She says that one moment Sasha was happy and fine, and the next she was in terrible pain and crying out loudly. Michelle did everything she could to help, but she had to call a pediatrician. The doctor told her to get Sasha to the hospital immediately. Once there, Sasha was diagnosed with meningitis. Michelle says they were lucky to get quick medical care because, without it, things could have ended differently. Thanks to God's grace, Sasha made a full recovery. The Obama family feels grateful every day for her health. Let's turn to another family secret: infertility and miscarriage. Many women feel afraid to talk about these struggles. It is very personal, and Michelle Obama felt the same. It was very hard for her to open up about her miscarriage. She says it wasn't easy to get pregnant. When she finally succeeded after many tries, she lost her first baby. That loss was heartbreaking. Michelle felt lost and alone, and she didn't realize how common miscarriage is. No one talks about it much, so she had no idea. Studies show that 10 to 25% of pregnancies end in miscarriage. It's a sad fact. Many women feel they are all alone or even blame themselves. But Michelle says that isn't true. Some women think they could have stopped it, but that isn't the case. Miscarriages happen more often than most people think. Michelle encourages women to be open about their bodies. She warns that hiding the truth about health can be risky. After experiencing a miscarriage, she didn't give up. Eventually, she and her partner turned to IVF to have children. Michelle also talks about the biological clock and how women over 30 often face challenges with pregnancy. Egg production drops with age, making conception harder. Public figures like Michelle sharing these struggles help more people understand these issues. Her honesty shows she genuinely wants to support women in similar situations. Moving on, Michelle and Barack are proud of their daughters, but they've recently shared a secret. During a candid chat about life in the White House, they revealed how much effort they put into creating a loving and stable family environment. At a fundraiser for Joe Biden in Los Angeles, Barack was asked if their daughters, Malia or Sasha, might go into politics. With his warm smile, he answered quickly. He and Michelle already told their girls that politics isn't for them. Barack called it crazy and said it would be wild for them to choose that path. As a father, he doesn't want his daughters to follow in his footsteps. He also said he's very proud of how strong they've become. After leaving the White House, Michelle recently spoke with Melinda Gates about life changes. She talked about the pressure of trying to be perfect and how her family's life shifted after leaving office. It wasn't easy, especially the emotional change from living like royalty to being ordinary people. Michelle shared her struggles and how free she felt once they moved out of the White House. She explained that as a woman of color from a working-class background, she always felt she had something to prove. That constant feeling of not being enough stayed with her for a long time. Michelle encourages women to be open about their bodies. She warns that hiding the truth about health can be risky. After experiencing a miscarriage, she didn't give up. Eventually, she and her partner turned to IVF to have children. Michelle also talks about the biological clock and how women over 30 often face challenges with pregnancy. Egg production drops with age, making conception harder. Public figures like Michelle sharing these struggles help more people understand these issues. Her honesty shows she genuinely wants to support women in similar situations. Moving on, Michelle and Barack are proud of their daughters, but they've recently shared a secret. During a candid chat about life in the White House, they revealed how much effort they put into creating a loving and stable family environment. At a fundraiser for Joe Biden in Los Angeles, Barack was asked if their daughters, Malia or Sasha, might go into politics. With his warm smile, he answered quickly. He and Michelle already told their girls that politics isn't for them. Barack called it crazy and said it would be wild for them to choose that path. As a father, he doesn't want his daughters to follow in his footsteps. He also said he's very proud of how strong they've become. After leaving the White House, Michelle recently spoke with Melinda Gates about life changes. She talked about the pressure of trying to be perfect and how her family's life shifted after leaving office. It wasn't easy, especially the emotional change from living like royalty to being ordinary people. Michelle shared her struggles and how free she felt once they moved out of the White House. She explained that as a woman of color from a working-class background, she always felt she had something to prove. That constant feeling of not being enough stayed with her for a long time.